Before the hour was half over, the older boys always took the dry centre of the upper field for their ball games, while the girls claimed the top section for hopscotch and jump rope and hanging around talking. So the lower grade boys had started this running thing. They would all line up on the far side of the lower field where it was either muddy or deep, crusty ruts. Earl Watson was no good at running, but had a big mouth. Would yell bang, and they'd race to the line towed across at the other end. One time last year, Jesse had won, not just the first heat, but the whole shebang. Only once, but it had put into his mouth a taste for winning. Ever since he had been in first grade, he'd been that crazy little kid that draws all the time. But one day, April the 22nd, a drizzly Monday, it had been. He'd ran for all of them. The red mud slushing out through the holes in the bottom of his sneakers for the rest of that day. And until after lunch on the next. He had been the fastest kid in the 3rd, 4th and 5th grades. And he only a 4th grader. On Tuesday, Wayne Peters had won again as usual, but this year Wayne would be in the 6th grade. He'd play football until Christmas and baseball until June with the rest of the big guys. Anybody had a chance to be the fastest runner, and by Miss Bessie this year it was going to be Jesse Oliver Aaron Jr. Jess pumped his arms harder and bent his head for the distant fence. He could hear the 3rd grade boys screaming on him, then would follow him around like a country music star, and Maybelle would pop her buttons. Her brother was the fastest, the best. They ought to give him the rest of the 1st grade something to chew their kids on. Even his dad would be proud. Jess rounded the corner. He couldn't keep going quite so fast, but he continued running for a while. It would build him up. Maybelle would tell Daddy, so it wouldn't look as though Jess was a bragger. Maybe Dad would be so proud he'd forget all about how tired he was from the long drive back and forth to Washington and the digging and hauling all day. He would get right down on the floor and wrestle the way they used to. Old Dad would be surprised at how strong he'd gotten in the last couple of years. His body was begging him to quit, but Jess pushed. "Get over here to the sink and wash yourself," his mother said, without raising his eyes from the stove, "and step on it. These grits are scorching the bottom of the pot already." Mama? Not again, Brenda whined. Lord, he was tired. There wasn't a muscle in his body that didn't ache. "You heard what Mom said," Ellie yelled at his back. "I can't stand it, Mama," Brenda again. "Make him get his smelly self off the bench." Jess put his cheek down on the bare wood of the tablecloth. "Jesse," his mother was looking now, "and put on a shirt." "Yes, miss, yes." He dragged himself to the sink. The water he flipped on his face and up his arms and pricked like ice. His hot skin caught under the cold drops. Maybelle was standing in the kitchen door watching him. "Get me a shirt, Maybelle." She looked as if her mouth was set to say no, but instead she said, "You shouldn't ought to beat me."